Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another very special event here. Not your typical weekly tournament. No, we are here with some show matches, with the Kashim Friendly Showmatches number 2. I'm of course Shows Light VIP, and with me, I'm joined by my plushies, joined by the chat, joined by everyone involved, and we have quite a TVP ready for you. For some context here, a big shout out to Kashim, to Maturino, to Sushi, to all the people behind the scenes making this happen here, as we have a best of 5. A best of 5, not a grudge match, a friendly show match, okay? It's we're all friendly here, you know, we're all friends, we're all, it's fine. And we're diving right into this. The game is ready for us. It is going to be loser's pick, by the way, and I chose the starting map, which is why spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radisson Station, we have the blue Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran representing Maturino Esports. The yellow Terran, it is Future. We go. Not the first time we've done this. It was 2 weeks ago, if I recall correctly, not too long ago, where we had some other show matches. We covered Future versus... Oh, I should fix this. Oh, there we go. We had Future versus Geralt, and we also had Future versus Milky Cow in a TVP and a TVT, respectively. And Future was able to take both of those series in the end. He took down both Geralt and Milky Cow. Pretty impressive stuff, not gonna lie. And now we have a couple more players lined up to take Future down. Who can be the first to do so? We have Strange, and we have Cham later on in the evening as well. A Zerg and a Protoss. Oh boy, that's a Zerg is what we were lacking, what we were missing in that previous edition, in the first iteration of these show matches, and we'll see if either Cham or Strange can bring him down in this best of 5 format. As a reminder, it is loser's pick, and the first map is decided by the caster. Last time I gave that to Kashim. Kashim, of course, he is the kind of organizer of this. He's a big part of the Polish scene. He's kind of like the Cynical Death, or what's a better way to put it? Maybe like El Padrino, like Darking of Latin America. Kashim, without Kashim, the Polish StarCraft scene would be worse off. He does so much for Liquipedia, he does so much for tournaments, he organizes so much, he has a lot of passion, much love, much respect to Kashim. Got a lot of respect for him. And last time I did he said that the caster can pick the starting map. We let Kashim pick the starting map. This time Kashim is unavailable, so I'm like, all right, let's go. We're gonna climb it up, Bobby. Radisson Station. Otherwise, it's not gonna be picked, Bobby. It's not gonna be picked. So we're here. It's amazing. It's beautiful. From here, it is loser's pick. So whoever does take a bow out here in game 1, they're gonna be picking their map for game number 2, as we do have a CC first here out of Future. I don't want to gloss over it too much, but it was a straight up CC first here on location. Strange did come in with a probe scout, and I believe he did not scout the opener, is in the dark. It's going to be a CC first into a 2-Rax here from Future, skipping his Reaper as well. Some of the features of Radisson Station, of course. Reaper scouting is very difficult on this map, so skipping the Reaper makes plenty of sense. And now from here, we're going into a 2-Rax. I imagine a 3rd Rax behind this, and up. There it is. It's going to be a factory, not a 3rd Rax, actually. Okay, so it's more of a 2-1-1 setup instead of rushing into Concussive Shell Marauders. Meanwhile, the Adept does get into the pocket base. We do get a scout onto the base itself, as the Adept chase the hell out of there. Is caught out by some of these Marines. Good target firing here. Good stutter stepping by Future, getting some hull damage done, but the Adept is going to be able to make it out. And the Marauders have been revealed. A big scout here, a big confirmation from Strange to recognize what is going on. Behind this, he went for a Robo Opener, and we can see why. The Robo Opener is going right into a Robotics Bay. I do like this as well. So a couple of things are coming into this as the players are skirmishing a little bit. But going for a Robo Opener is typically considered to be very safe, and you lack a couple of things because of it. You lack a lot of map presence. You don't have Blink, you don't have Phoenixes, you don't have Oracles, you don't have any way to really scout, to really have any assertion on the map. Sentry's going to help with that, with the Hallucination Scout. It will help when it comes to figuring out what exactly Future's follow-up is going to be, whether he goes for a 2-base all-in or not. But yeah, basically Robo Openers are very safe, and also very tech heavy as well, as we have a safety immortal and we're going into a Colossus from here. Strange does have a proxy pylon across the map. I'm curious if he intends to use this, or if for the most part he's going to be taking more of a back seat here. Just has this just in case he wants to harass, as he's just building up his Colossus count very early on. From here, we should be seeing a third. I'll be honest, I haven't seen much of Strange on Radisson Station. We have been lucky enough to cast a lot of him in WTL, but those are very specific and specialized maps. So I'm really curious to see if he does take a third base, or if he goes for more of a 2-base push off of 1, 2, or even 3 Colossus. Proxy Gateway's on the way. Meanwhile, Future back at home, he's still building up his 2-1-1, working on Stim, Scan to try to shut down an Observer, and it looks like he was able to catch one, so nice pick off there from Future. Behind this, we have an eBay on the way, so it looks like he isn't going to be moving out, or I mean, he's going to be moving out with this double drop, yes, but not designed to kill, designed to pressure. He's working on additional upgrades, working on that next step, and eventually should be working on a third CC. As he moves out, ooh, we do not see this, and that is a massive gateway explosion, by the way. We're not taking a third base. Typically, a Protoss player would be greedy on this map, and they'd be more economic, but no. Strange. He's doubling down on 2 bases, going for the proxy. Meanwhile, his army's getting caught out, and this army is looking very exposed. Up! Clutch force fields. We do keep the army safe and sound, zoning away those marauders, but the army has them spotted. This is a bit of a tell. Strange, he ignores it. Strange? Future, he ignores it. He loads up. He goes straight across the map. Going straight for that natural base. Likewise, Strange is racing back home as well, trying to get in position. Shield batteries are now in production, 1 in the natural, 1 in the main, and we could still dive on top of the Colossus. And it looks like we attempt to. We do a decent amount of damage here, but Stalkers are in position. The rest of the reinforcements have arrived. We do target fire some of these probes. A lot of workers are going down. 8 workers in total, and the medevac does escape. Again, no blink, no phoenixes, no way to shut down and keep up with these drops. We have anti-air, yes, but a very immobile army. So the medevacs, they could just float away. They float back in, and they get even more damage done. Behind this, third CC is on location. We have 3 more Raxes on the way, so we're getting into our 5-1-1 setup. A pretty standard 5-rack setup here on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Strange is looking to counterattack, but Future, he's keeping his rally back at home. He should be in position. As I say that, he is moving out. Oh. He is in the midst of moving out. Likewise, so is Strange. Again, no third base whatsoever from Strange. This is looking like a 2-base all-in. He's on 6, no, 7 gateways. He catches the medevac. Army has been spotted. Future going to try to come in from behind. He does catch a couple of Stalkers. 1 Stalker, 1 Zealot goes down. Trying to drag away the army, setting up a surround. Trying to come in from behind. As he does have that secondary force. And Strange is in a really awkward position here. How good are the force fields going to be? We pull the boys. The boys from one side, we have the Marauders from the other. We dive on top of the Colossus. It looks like, can we snipe one of them? Alas, we cannot. So far, good positioning. 12 SCVs go down. The Colossus are left safe and sound behind the wall of Stalkers. The army gets cleaned up, and GG gets called. Strange will take game number 1. Whew. GG. That was kind of a scary situation for Strange to be in, to push out in such a fashion, but at the same time, Future didn't really have a lot to work with either. He was spread thin, and there was plenty of room for the Protoss player to maneuver, to kind of kite back as well. Ooh. And to, yeah, get a decent position against that. So GG, well played. Future will take, Strange will take the first game. It's going to be on Future to fight back. Game 2, it's going to be his map of choice, and we'll see what he does decide here as we are heading over to the European server. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, I do need to make sure I join the channel. Beautiful. Do need to make sure I join the channel, and we are going to be alternating. Game 1 was on US East, Game 2 was on EU, Game 3 US East, back and forth. We're going to be alternating, just, you know, to make sure everything is fair, everything is above board. And we have our map. It is going to be hard lead. I'm not set up on EU. But yeah, game 2 is going to be hard led. Just making the lobby and waiting for it to load. As you can imagine, I don't have the best ping to EU, so there we go. Good. Apologize for that. So here we are, just going to be diving on into this. Ooh. And we'll see if Future can bring it back. Again, it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. And we're loading on in. Talking about that last game, though, I didn't want to gloss over it too much. Yeah, really interesting style from both players. Actually, hyper-aggression, really. We have Future going for some heavy drop play with a emphasis on rushing into Marauders, which had a lot of potential. Likewise, so talking a little bit back about the dynamic of that last game, I'm pretty sure Future's build of choice and his playstyle there in that last game was designed to punish a more economic Protoss player. I'm talking about Radisson Station. It is a very common map for the Protoss player to be really greedy, to get a 3rd base, get a 4th base, focus on probing, and focus on defense, or I say defense, just teching and being economic. So yeah, I think Future was just a little bit caught off guard and was not really anticipating a more aggressive style from Strange, going for a 2-base all-in. But now we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hard Lead, we have our American Terran player, the yellow Terran representing Maturino Esports, going for a proxy. It is Future. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Red Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. There it is, the Rax is upon us. We're taking 2 gases behind this as well. I'm curious how committed Future is going to be. It's only 1 Rax, and it's not in the best position to throw down something crazy like a Tech Lab for Proxy Marauder. It is looking like a single Rax here instead. For the time being, I say for the time being because we have seen some more cheeky, aggressive proxies pop up in the TVP matchup. And specifically talking about the 1 base, 2 factory Cyclone all-in, or there's the Hellbat all-in variation as well. There are things that you can kind of whip out and try to catch your opponent off guard with. For now, it's only a single Rax, and we should be transitioning back at home. Single Rax rallying the Reaper in. The goal here is to get a couple of worker kills early on. Zealot is going to be coming out. We have the eBay block on the low ground, but the Zealot does come out in time, and we should be able to deny this eBay. Oh, as that's a kill of the SCV, a little bit of a slip up there from Future. Ay. Less than ideal. We do end up canceling, thankfully not a kill. The Reaper is going to be coming in. We do not delay that expansion, only for a couple of seconds by the eBay, but it does get thrown down. Now we're making a beeline for the main base. Likewise, it was a double gas opener, which means we're focusing on our factory next. We have a delayed CC. We do get a second probe. Not too bad. We do get a second worker in the end. Meanwhile, back at home, Future is throwing down his CC. He's not going for a 1 base all-in. Important to point out, because I feel like he's the kind of player that would be willing to do so. The probe slips into the main, does get a full scout. Does confirm the follow-up here is aware of the expansion. So a very important scout from Strange. And Future is racing back home. He did delay the expansion, and he killed 2 workers. That is something, yes. And meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. It is going to be a Twilight Council. Here we go. I do see some people asking how much are they playing for. It's 50 USD on the line for each show match. 100 USD in total. Not too bad. As our Reapers are going to be getting across the map. Likewise, Twilight Council opener should be for Blink, and Future's in the dark as to what's going on. Hard Lead does make a lot of sense for a Twilight Council opener just because it's a very short rush distance map in the map pool. A lot of aggression is favored on this map. We do get a probe. Oh, but that Reaper is so low. We get a second probe just barely. We do get a full... we hopefully get a full scouts. There we go. As a Hellion dives in from the natural, we do confirm the Twilight Council. We see it researching. We are aware of the Blink. Now, if this was any other player, I'd be speculating, is this going to be like a 2-gate opener into a fast 3rd? Is this going to be more economic? Based off of last game and based on the games that we've seen in general from Strange, he doesn't really come off as a very economic player or very macro-oriented. He thrives, it feels like he thrives a lot in the mid-game, specifically. Not saying he cheeses, but in the mid-game, that's kind of his wheelhouse. 2-base, maybe even 3-base play. And as a result, we'll see if he throws out more gateways. So far, still only 2. Mind Drop is going to be coming in. Strange, he does react in time. Does pull back. Oh, we don't waste the mine, though. Going to be delaying even more mining here in the main base. Up! Once again, the unbar. Strange, calm down. 1 probe falls in the main. And likewise here at the natural, we're trying to chase down these workers. And up! Oh, we do get a second worker here. Again, not too many worker kills, true, but a lot of lost mine time. These probes even rallied into the main, they have to come back to the natural. And on top of that, we also get confirmation that we didn't have additional gateways. Future, like, we can see only 2 gateways, and Future sees that as well. He does confirm. In doing so, he should be feeling a little bit safer here overall. He is setting up his SimCity, bunker, tanks are getting in position, we have our Raven to shut down observers. Mine Drop running back in. And it looks like Strange does intend to expand. Strange is getting a Bay first. That is a common transition here, going for a Robotics Bay for Colossus, then into a delayed third. But we'll see. We'll keep our eye on him. Keep our eye on the Strange. Back in Future, he's just getting into his 3-1-1 setup. He's investing into Interference Matrix, which will help against the Colossi. Strange, unfortunately, has yet to really see too much. He has controlled the Zelnaga on the right-hand side. Observer is now on the way, and we should be getting across the map, should be getting a scout, or trying to get a scout on what's going on. As there's that third on the way for Strange. So yeah, 2 gate into the Bay, into a delayed third. With this does mean that he gets faster Colossus production, which is going to be very strong and, again, kind of a safer way to play this out. But alas, because Future has invested into this Raven, there is still potential for him to break his opponent here on 2 bases. There is potential for Future. Giga Chat Scout. Oh my god, Jon Snow! It's good to see you back, in a way. I look forward to potentially seeing you in the DreamHack Atlanta Open Bracket. It would be cool to see a lot of the NA players come together for DreamHack Atlanta. I imagine that's going to be the case. As Future is going to be coming in for a bit of a multi-prong harassment here. He's got the Raven coming in from one side for some auto tarts. We have the Mind Drop coming towards the main base as well. Looking to not just get economic damage, but also get a scout and get a read on what exactly has been going on, what the transition is, to see if we have something crazy like a Templar Archives for Storm play, maybe additional gateways. And here we go. Future is pulling the trigger. So far, it does get eyes on the researching Robotics Bay. Auto tower comes in. Up! The reaction! Oh my god. Bit of a delayed reaction. 3 workers go down. As we deny mining at the natural waste, and Future is going to be pushing. Quite committed here. Throwing down his 3rd CC on location. How many tanks do we have? We are up to 3 tanks. Does scan that natural. To make our way in between the bases. Oh no! The misclick! Disables, doesn't quite land the disable on the Colossus. Aye, aye, aye. On the Stalker instead. We're going to be pushing on forward. The tanks are looking exposed. The Marines are a bit out of position. But at the same time, there's not much to support the Colossus. Colossi are looking so vulnerable here. We do have a disable. But alas, we do have an extra round of Warpins. We're up to 3 Colossi. It's still so much. Even on their own, they're standing strong. They're able to hold their own here, just forcing their way through these Marines. The Colossi refuse to die. Can we get 1? We barely do. We do shut 1 down. We get a 2nd, and it looks like we do get on top of the 3rd. Future does have enough. And it looks like he has broken the natural base. Widowman's going to be borrowing. They go up on the mineral line. Not quite the pros, but it looks like Future has done enough. Even if he gets forced back now, it's already worth it. Killing and resetting the Colossus count was insane. And it looks like Future just has too much. Initially, it was looking a little bit shaky. I was concerned that Future had maybe blundered the attack, but no, Strange GG's out and Future fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. See, really, the disable on the Stalker was to kind of lure Strange into a false sense of security and kind of bump up his confidence. Clearly. Oh my god, as again, Strange was kind of caught with his pants down, was lacking reinforcements, was lacking the buffer that he needed to keep these Colossi alive, and with that, Future barely does break through. And we find ourselves in game number 3. Let's go. We're going to be switching servers once again over to the land of the Americas, and it's going to be on Strange for the map pick. Okay, here we go, and we have our map of choice. It is going to be Equilibrium. Yeah. Here we go. Equilibrium, pretty interesting map choice here. Quite a large map, of course, the goal base is available, but we haven't really seen 3-base saturation yet from our players. We haven't really gotten to that stage. It's been a pretty aggressive best of so far. You know, in game number 1, we had a 2-base all-in at a Strange. Game number 2, we had Future, likewise, move out on 2-base. Did have a 3rd base behind it, don't get me wrong, and Strange was looking for a longer game, but Future was able to kind of cripple that and hinder that before Strange could really get going. Cut him off at the knees. And now we're getting into game 3. To determine who takes the lead, who gains momentum in this best of 5. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have our blue Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the American Terran player, the yellow Terran representing Maturito Esports, tying up the series 1-1. It is Future. Can't make it this year. We'll be cheering for the NA players who can. Oh, nice, nice. I mean, it's a shame to hear that you can't quite make it this year, but you know, hopefully in future years. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, there was another DreamHack or another event that was announced as a part of the EPT season next year in North America, if I'm not mistaken. So you know, maybe another chance to kind of come together and once again immerse yourself in the StarCraft scene and the StarCraft community in NA. Regardless, Strange is popping off. We're let's go. As Strange is this time going to be the aggressor, going for a proxy gateway. It's going to be one gateway back at home. We have the proxy gateway across the map. With this, we should be getting out of Zealots into Stalkers or Adepts, even just keeping the pressure on. Future, he does wall off here on 2 bases, and he's going for a Rax Expand. CC, very much so hidden here, right next to his main, very far back. As a result, Strange is going to be in the dark. Likewise, I'm sure he was hoping for his opponent to try to expand on the low ground, to go for a Rax Expand and try to punish that and try to force a cancel here on the CC. Ooh, it's going to be a kill in the probe. So Strange, he won't be able to deal too much economic damage, but he will still have a lot of units to work with. Oh my god. I was worried for a moment there. Future almost comes across it, not quite. We have our first Zealot racing across the map. We have not just one, 2 Stalkers on the way. And Future, he is checking. I have to get rid of that. That's from our previous cast this morning. But Future, he is checking for some proxy locations. He will come across the Zealot and the Stalker as well. And now Future, he can piece it together, but he gets caught out. And Marines are going to get picked off. That's the first Marine going down, a second Marine, and the third. A very unfortunate positioning for Future, losing every single unit. Boys have to be pulled, and there's no bunker on the high ground. He's going for it. He's going 3CC. No shot. Oh my god, Future. Being so greedy here. He has 1 Rax for production, 1 Marine as well. SCVs are going down. He just happened to be going for one of the greediest builds you could have gone for here in this matchup against a proxy of all things. Ay, ay, ay. Once again, another Marine goes down. GG gets called. There's no fighting back from this. A bit of a build order loss as Strange takes the game, taking a lead in this best of 5. GG. Ay, ay, ay. That was unfortunate. You don't really see build order losses too often in StarCraft nowadays, but that was brutal. For Future to be going for, again, such a greedy build, such a greedy opener, and it just so happened to be that Strange happened to going for a proxy and being hyper aggressive. Like that was unlucky. That was unfortunate. Very unfortunate for Future to kind of be caught in that position. Kind of rolling the dice, taking a risk. I should emphasize that as well, right? It's like, it's not like Future going 3CC, like going for a rack expand into a third base is the most common of things. He took a risk by going for something so greedy and was punished for it. Was punished for it in the end, and with that, Strange is one game away from taking this series, from winning the show match. Future has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. The pressure is on. And we have our map. It is going to be Oceanborn. We're going to be loading into Oceanborn here for game number 4. Taking a trip under the sea. Just setting up that lobby. Beautiful. And I wonder, what does Future have in store for us? How do we bounce back? How do we fight back in this series? I feel like we've been taking turns. I feel like, one game, Strange is the aggressor. The other game, it's Future. Back and forth, back and forth. And we'll see what Future brings to the table here on Oceanborn. I'm feeling aggression. I mean, again, Oceanborn does have a relatively short rush distance by ground. You can be very aggressive early on. In saying that, you can actually be pretty heavily fortified on 3 bases. It can be difficult to break a 3-basing player. But this is also a good map for something crazy like Proxy Factory, which we have seen in the past. But we'll see. We'll see where we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the yellow Terran player representing Match Arena Esports down to the series, looking to fight back. It is Future. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss representing Mystery Gaming. 1 game away from winning this show match. It is Strange. Future going for a fake proxy Rax here. You do love to see it. Again, this is a relatively common thing here in TVP, where the Terran player, they can hide their first Rax in their main base, at the third base location, at the natural, at the triangular third base location. Not the most... I still need to get rid of the turtle. I apologize. I'll get rid of it after this. I'll try to remember. Maybe in between show matches. But yeah, relatively common thing here that always has to be in the back of Strange's mind. When he does scout, when he does confirm that a Rax is missing, he needs to be aware that it's possible that the Rax is still on Future's side of the map. But I do like this. I do like this a lot, like mind game wise from Future, because I just mentioned it. We have been taking turns. It feels like we have been taking turns when it comes to who's the defender and who's the aggressor, and it's Future's turn to be aggressive, and he fakes it out instead. Throwing down his Rax back at home. Strange, he's falling for it in a way. He does chrono out his Zealot just to be safe, just so he has a unit to defend against Proxy Reaper. As we know, it's a bit of a waste, and he does scout. The probe comes in, does get eyes on the Rax. Strange is aware. He now knows he's safe and sound, does confirm that the factory's on the way behind this. It was a double gas opener. It's going to be a delayed expansion here from Future. A little bit more aggressive. As I say, a little bit more aggressive. We do have the bunker on the way, and the Reaper is racing across the map. We do have the Zealot though, and yeah, with the Zealot, the bunker should not complete. should not finish. Reaper going to be ignoring that Zealots. We should be getting a cancel. There we go. Do cancel the bunker. Going to the mineral line. A Stalker has arrived, and can we get a probe? Oh, alas, we cannot. Thankfully, the Reaper does survive. Very important. We do need to come in for a follow-up scout after this, just to get a read on the tech. As we can see, it's going to be a Twilight Council. Blink Stalkers are on the horizon here for Strange. Future, at the moment, unaware, but has the potential to scout. Oh, the probe. Oh my god. Probe does confirm the CC and the follow-up starport. Does get eyes on the lack of second racks. Future getting all the scouting information he needs, and he's just preparing himself back at home. The question becomes, how many gateways? Assuming this is Blink, there are of course builds that go into a Dark Shrine, for example, or rush into like a Charge All-In. These are some more fringe builds, but they're definitely on the table, they're definitely possible, but there it is, Blink is on the way. Blink is on the way. We do have our Hellion Reaper going to be threatening a dive into the natural. We do commit though. We're going for the probes. 2 workers go down. So far we haven't lost anything, but the Hellion. Hellion is going to be shut down. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they ignore it. They ignore the Stalkers, go straight to the main base, and they have gotten eyes on the Twilight Council. Up. Oh, 1 Reaper does fall in the retreat, but in the end we do make it out. We did confirm everything. We saw only 1 gateway, but now we have additional gateways on the way. It's going to be 2-gate Blink, and I wouldn't be surprised if Strange goes for the same build he tried to go for on Hard Lead. I'm talking 2-gate Blink into a bay, then into a 3rd base. We'll see if that's going to be the case. We'll keep an eye on Strange. Meanwhile, the mine drops are going to be coming in. As we mentioned before, the goal here for this mine drop is, on the one hand, yes, to deal some economic damage, but also to get eyes on the production, on the tech, on the follow-up. And here we go. Future is going to be boosting on towards that mineral line. Stalkers are in position. The medevac is going to escape. Oh my god. Mine shots are going to be going off. We still have 1 mine shot left. The pros come back. And they do barely get out. Up. As we pick off a Stalker as well. Pros will return. 3 worker kills in total. We even killed the worker that was here at the 3rd base that was attempting to expand. Not too bad. Not too bad damage here, forcing some lost mining time. We also get eyes on the gateways. Again, it's only 2 gateways. Future also saw the attempted 3rd, so he should be feeling pretty safe and sound. As we can see, 3rd base is on the way. So it is a variation of 2-gate Blink. If you remember, on Hard Lead, it was 2-gate Blink into a 3rd, but the 3rd was delayed in favor of Colossus production. This time, we're delaying Colossus and we're prioritizing that 3rd base. So much more economic this time, out of Strange. Does mean that he's going to be lacking splash damage. It's going to take him a little bit longer to get into that. Charge is in production. Stalkers, they have arrived. They're going to be poking and prodding at the front door, but there's no real danger here to Future. We will soon have high ground vision, and Strange can threaten a dive into the main, but he only has a handful of Stalkers. Again, it's only 2-gate Blink. He doesn't really have that much to work with. Future should be safe and sound and should be able to keep up with the movement of Strange. So Observer's going to be coming in. Oh. It looks like Strange does find a way into the main. He's going straight for the mineral line. And up. Oh my god, he barely does get 1 SCV. And some lost mining time. We also get a scout of the main base. We get eyes on some of these Raxes. From here, Strange is going to be backing up. And back at home, we are doubling down on Swarm Toss. Basically a purely gateway-based army. No splash damage yet. This usually leads into Storm and into High Templar with the Templar Archives. But for now, it's just Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots. That's going to be a lot of Charge Lots. We have 5 gates on the way. In addition to the 2 that we already have, it's going to be 7 gates in total. It's a pretty hefty amount of gateways here, as Strange is getting fully saturated on 3 bases. What's important is that Future did invest into Interference Matrix, and it's not going to be the most impactful upgrade, just because there's no kind of high-value target to disable. So we do see Future threatening a move out, looking to expand, looking to throw down his 3rd base on location, I imagine, as he pushes out. There's a salvage. The move out is upon us. do get eyes on the Stalkers. Meanwhile, there's a Zealot in position to deny the CC. Aye. So, cute moves here from Strange, and there it is. SCV goes down. Third CC is going to be delayed. Future, he's committed. He's going to be bleeding out a couple of units. He does get spotted ahead of time. We go for the we go for the hallucination under the skin. At the same time, Strange going straight for the main. Do have that Zealot drop upon us and a warp in as well. And do we have much at home to defend? We have a couple of reinforcements, but workers, they are going down. Big warp in into the main base. Mine shot's going to be going off at the same time. Future, he's still idle here outside the bases. Still hasn't pushed in. He goes for the scan. He does once again see the hallucinated Colossus, but he sees all those Zealots. Okay, he's not liking his chances. He does back up. Oh my god. The War Prism does go down. There's no more threat of a counterattack. He can expand. CC's on the way. But yeah, Future, he's going to respect this army. He's going to respect this position. Doesn't commit. Now, what's important here? One, yes, he doesn't break the third, and I'm sure he wanted to. I'm sure he wanted to try to kill his opponent then and there. But because he backed off, a really mature decision, he keeps most of his army alive. The Marines, the Marauders, the tanks, the medevacs, everything has been preserved here for a follow-up timing. As we get into additional upgrades, work towards 2-2, and I imagine into Ghosts or even Liberators. Meanwhile, Strange, now that he's survived, is going to be expanding. He takes another base. Takes a fourth, is working on his upgrades. Now we actually have some splash damage. I mentioned before that usually this leads into Storm and a Templar Archives, but we can see that that is not the case this game. He's going for a second Robo into double Colossus production. Meanwhile, Future is going and prioritizing Vikings and Ghosts. Ghost Academy's on the way for those EMPs. Again, just really careful play out of Future. Again, I mean, he's on match point. One more loss in Future, his show match here, this best of 5 will end. So really careful play. Again, he doesn't want to be too wasteful or throw anything away or leave anything to chance. And Strange instead is going to be the one gaining map control. Oh, we also have a Dark Shrine on the way as well. Este Strange. Let's go. Gonna be spicing it up here as he builds up his Colossus count. He's getting his fourth. I believe this is not seen by Future, so he doesn't know how committed his opponent is. As we can see, Strange is only vying for map control. He has no intention of pushing in because he's waiting for his fourth to kick in, for his Dark Shrine, for his Colossus production. Strange is just kind of puffing up his chest and, again, trying to contain his opponent. Future gonna be stuck at home for a little bit longer, but still building up his army. How many ghosts do we have? We are up to 3 ghosts so far. 1 EMP each. We have a bit of a Zealot run by here on the right-hand side, and it is going to be shut down by the army. A little bit wasteful out of Strange. The Observer did see the Widow Mine at least, and did we catch the... Oh, we do! We catch the Observer. Nice pick off from Future. Strange going to be a little bit more in the dark as to the positioning of the army, going for a Zealot run by at the same time, but we have tanks, we have reinforcements. Zealots are going to be shut down, and Future is pushing right through the middle. He does scan the army. He does see him out of position. The disable. Up. Oh my god, we don't commit yet, but there it is. The disable on the Colossus. The force fields do slow Future down as we are forced to recall. Future making his way towards the third. Does catch another Colossus. Ah, it's so exposed. One Colossus goes down. The other 2 are still available. But the ground army, the Zealots, the Stalkers, the Gateway forces are just crumbling here before the might of the Terran. And Future ignores the Colossi, goes straight for the natural instead, getting secure damage, getting into the economy. Back at home, SCVs are going down though. That's 14 kills. And Future, he's being cleaned up. Did well initially killing the first Colossus, but he's being forced out. And meanwhile, back at home, that is 16 SCV kills. It was a good dive, don't get me wrong. It was looking impressive. It was looking like it could maybe even end things then and there, but Strange, he maintains his Colossus count, he maintains his economy, still has that 4th base up and running. Did lose workers, that's true, but he killed even more across the map. Future, he's down to 51 SCVs. He's down 20 workers compared to Strange. Mules are good, but they're not that good. There's a lot of pressure on Future. A lot of pressure on him to move out, to try to counterattack. He still has yet to see the 4th. He's not aware of it. but it's pushing in that direction. We do have a mine drop here into the natural. No cannons. No cannons. We do have a reaction. Oh my god. We do focus down both of those winter mines. The medevac as well. This Future does push on the left-hand side. Is spotted by the pylon. Strange has time to react. Is going to be rotating over, and Future just doesn't have much here. A handful of marauders. That's a lot of lasers. Gee, okay, so usually we stop at 3 Colossi. 3 Colossi, that's the ideal amount. Any more than that, and we just do too much over damage or overkill, and it's just not worth it. It's not just 4. We have a 5th Colossus as well. This is insane. Quite a lot of splash damage. Meanwhile, the Dark Templar, they're getting into the bases. One here at the 3rd, forcing out a scan. We have another DT here in the main base, and Future, he already had a worker deficit, and it's getting even larger. Strange pulling him apart. War Prism going to be threading a dive. 21 dead SCVs and counting. This one Dark Templar still not dealt with. Oh, Prism's going to go down. Another DT here at the 3rd. And at this point, Future's all in. At this point, Future, he has no way to recover economically. Has no way of bringing this back. Like, we just gotta go. And again, the army size here of Future is pretty comparable to his opponent. Pretty comparable here. We have a lot of ghosts for EMPs. We have Vikings as well. We can potentially outposition this army, and the Vikings, they can go ham. There is a way for Future to win this fight, but it's not going to be easy. At the same time, Zealot counterattacks are on the way. Pylon does spot the positioning of Future. Strange is going to rotate around. Is aware of the army. Fort CC on location. Zealots are coming in. Nothing to defend. The constant run-bys. The constant harass here. We do have some reinforcements. Thankfully. Future is turning back around. I don't blame him. Like, he has to protect what little economy he has left. We even have a Dark Templar. No shot. What's also important here as the army is forced back is that Strange sees it. He sees the army turn back around. He knows that he has map control. He's moving out, and he gets eyes on the 4th, and he's going to shut it down. There's no saving this 4th base. As time has gone on, the army of Strange has gotten larger and larger. We do have some disables, though. 2 Colossi are shut down. And can we overwhelm this? We do take down one of the Colossus, but it's not going to be enough. There's just too much Protoss on the ground. GG gets called, and Strange will take game number 4 and the series 3-1. GG. GG, well played. Strange, he fights back for all the fallen Protoss and even Terran brethren here in these show matches. I mentioned before, we casted some Kashim show matches a couple of weeks ago, and Future was popping off. He took down Geralt, he took down Milky Cow, but Strange, he rocks up and he fights back. He avenges some of those fallen players, and he is the first to take a series off of Future here. GG, well played. Also, not a bad performance here out of Future either. There were some really unfortunate games. Like, for me, it was a little bit sad seeing Equilibrium. Equilibrium was quite brutal. It was Equilibrium was quite brutal, and it was such a shame that it ended the way that it did, or that it transpired the way that it did. Again, just didn't really help Future when it came to gaining momentum in the series. And yeah, really well done by Strange. I do think that Strange is overlooked a little bit, but we do get to see him a lot in WTL. And yeah, he has his moments. He has his moments, and he can look strong. And as we saw here, can even take down a player of the caliber of Future. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be heading over to the American server. We just wrapped up with our first best of 5. We have one more. We have one more ahead of us. It isn't just one series. We are going to be getting into a TVZ. We're getting into some Zerg action here. Future versus Cham. Let's go. Now, we're going to be going on a short break here. We're halfway through the broadcast, and we have one more best of 5. Also, I believe Cham's match is scheduled to start in another half an hour. So, we have to, of course, slip into some DMs, and hopefully Cham is available. He is. So going to be going on a short break, 5 minutes or so, and when we return, we'll have our next matchup. See you soon. So welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that brutal OST as we have returned with our final best of 5 here of the night. We just wrapped up with Future versus Strange, and now we are here with a very different matchup with a Zerg versus Terran. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat, and you can get a link to these Matcherino pages. You can support these show matches if you wish. By no means do you have to, but the Matcherino pages are there if you want to help support these players as we are getting into our next best of 5 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. We go. Our first Zerg player in these show matches. I mentioned before, we've had Geralt Strange for Protoss, we've had Milky Cow for Terran, and now we have Zerg here for, Cham for Zergs. So I do love the variety that we're going to be getting here, and an interesting opener as we're loading into Golden Aura. I was very tempted, I'll be honest, I was very tempted to actually pick Radisson Station again for game 1, but at the same time, I was like, I don't want to make them play on Radisson Station every start of the series. We'll spice it up, went for Golden Aura instead, and I'm ready for it. We do see Future going for an interesting opener, not going for a 2-Rax, going for a Rax expand into a factory as a part of this wall. A very different opener, very different compared to the typical kind of Beyond 2-Rax here on the low ground. Instead, this is more of a special opener. Juanito has been quite fond of going for this instead, going for the factory. Beyond has played around with it a little bit, and we can see that Future is maybe a little bit fond of it as well. Assuming that it's a factory. And not a second Rax. For now, Marine's going to be racing around. Because it was Marine first, we're looking for Overlords to shut down, but Cham, something that is known about him is that, fun fact, if you looked at his ZVTs, he actually doesn't send his first Overlord across the map. He does keep both of his Overlords at home instead to scout for proxies. So, yeah, he just so happened to counteract this in a way. The goal here of these Marines was to shut down the Overlord, and it just is nowhere to be seen because it's back at home. Meanwhile, there's that factory on the way. Future just getting set up here on 2 bases, and we're settling in towards that mid-game. Likewise, Cham going for a hatch gas pull into a 3rd base. Important that I point this out because Cham has been known to be hyper-aggressive. He's a bit of a roach boy. Kind of like Dark, or kind of like some of these other more aggressive Zerg players out there. Cham is one to be in your face with Roach Ravager, or with an early Roach timing. So important to bear in mind that he has opted to go for a standard opener to kick things off. And as we settle into this fresh best of 5, also, I was catching up in the chat. Disable 2 and it's like disabling 0. That's why you have 5 Colossus. True. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. Just don't stop making Colossus, just so you always have 1 firing at a time. The logic is there. Not wrong. As for now, it's going to be, a straight up 1-1-1. Okay, Future. Have my attention. Hellions. Oh god, I forgot to get La Tortuga. I need to remove it. God damn it. I'll try to do so after this game, as we are going for a straight up 1-1-1, a very aggressive opener here from Future, delaying his 3rd base, and we can see that it's not just a 1-1-1. We have an armory on the way. Hellbat push is upon us. And it's going to be on Cham to defend here with his Lings and Queens. He has 4 Queens so far, but 3 more on the way. It's going to be 7 in total. And hopefully we have another wave of Queens afterwards to get up to at least 8. Now, it isn't necessary to have a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest to defend against a Hellbat push. If you have a high enough Queen count, and if you have good positioning with your Lings, then you can survive. You can shut this down. It is going to be a tough defense, but can be a defense nonetheless. Here we go, the medevacs have arrived. Marines as well, and we do have the Morphin of Hellbats right on top of the Queens. Queens are going to back off. The build has revealed itself. Cham just trying to kite as best he can, trying to buy as much time as he can as possible. Oh, Lings do go down, but the Queens, they get a good arc. They get a good concave. Up, the drones! Oh my god, 4 workers go down. So many of them get roasted, but they do escape. And the Hellbats are stuck. There is no escape. There's no way out. And they do get shut down. Only 4 worker kills. A good defense here by Cham. The Marines are going to be saved. We do get on top of one of those Overlords. But so far, Cham, he has preserved his worker count. He's going to be joining up behind this. He is going to be forcing Future the hell out of here. Meanwhile, Future, he's doubling down. He is going for a 3rd TC, so it's not a 2-base all-in. But he's getting into Banshees. Also, 1 minute. I was trying to remove the logos mod. I can't do so when I'm in game, but after this game, we'll get rid of it. But now we can see Future just being as active as he can with this drop. He's just trying to pull apart his opponents and get whatever damage he can. Lings, they have arrived. They take down one of the Marines. But looking at the vision of Cham, again, I mentioned before that he is not really one to go for Overlord scouts. He doesn't know that Banshees are on the way. Now, we do have spores in position. A spore in each mineral line. The 4th base is a bit exposed. And if we get up to a high enough Banshee count, 2 Banshees, you can even threaten Queens as well. Don't just have to go for drones. As we are just cutting Banshee production at 2. Meanwhile, Aspire is on the way. Cham going Lingbane Muta. Let's go. I am ready for it. Spire so far unscouted. It's a good way to shut down the drop play of his opponents. Banshees have arrived. They're making a beeline for the fourth. Overseer's on the way. Queen's in position, but there's no detection. Not yet. As the Banshees, they ignore the fourth. They go for the natural, where there is a Spore Crawler. We could maybe try to pick off some of these Queens. We get one drone. We get two. Not too bad. 3 workers and both Banshees survive. But ideally, we want more than this. What the least that I ask here as the Banshees make their way towards the natural, we do get the scouts, and we get eyes on the Spire. Let's go. Spire has been spotted. We are aware of the muta play, and we should be preparing back at home. Future's just going to confirm that, and again, he has seen the Spire being made. eBay is going to be required, and turrets should be on the horizon here for our Terran. We do get a couple more drones. Not too bad. Really good control here. 10 drones in total. And instead of getting ready for the mutas defensively, we're pushing. And I do like this as well. Basically, Cham, he's a little bit caught off guard. He's spending all of his gas on mutas, which means no Banelings are ready for this. 0 Banelings are ready, but we have 7 more Banelings in production. We just need more time. Future pushing forward. He catches a muta. Does get 1 muta for his troubles. Not a bad pickup. Getting on top of the Queens, but the Banelings, they're banking up. Baneling speed is done. Cham, he's getting ready to collapse on this position, and here we go. He pulls the trigger. The Queens move forward. The Lings, they get a surround on the tanks. A couple of good tank shots, but Banelings, they do make it through. Oh, the target firing. Oh my god. Good target firing by Future, but it's still not enough. He is overwhelmed, and the Ling muta chases him back. We have reinforcements. But without Banelings, we cannot fight this, not head on. This is the power of Golden Aura. Short resistance by ground. 6 more Banelings, 7 more Banelings on the way, but Future, he's here. The Future is now. 3 Banelings left, 0 Banelings left once again. Beautiful target firing here from Future. And he's breaking on through, getting on top of the Queens. We have more Banelings finishing up though. Cham isn't out of this. He's going for the dive. Tanks go down. Fighting off a creep like this though. Oh my god, the target fight. 1 Baneling connects, but 1 Baneling, not quite enough. As Future just keeps on pushing. It's all or nothing here for the Terran. Behind this, he's 8-raxing. On 3 bases, no 4th. He gets on top of the Queens. And again, without Banelings, there's nothing to contest this army. Cham, he's crazy. He's still squeezing out more mutas. He's up to 15 mutas here. Behind this, 4th CC is on the way, on location. A little bit off-center, but it's all good. We can always reposition. Future is working on that next step. 2-2 is soon to kick in. And he's slowly getting within range of these bases. Bearing in mind, he's been trading very well against the Ling Bane, but he hasn't touched the economy. Not with this push. Tank is... Oh god, no! Tank goes down. Oh my god. Some Banelings did connect. But Future, he just keeps on pushing. He's still not slowing down. Good target firing. Oh my god. Once again. Kiting well against the drones. And he's finally done some economic damage. He's finally broken the 4th base. 15 drones go down. And this is more than enough. This is what he's been waiting for. Up. Failing some okay connections. And it looks like we have enough mutas to overwhelm these Marines. Not the best trade from Cham, but he cleans up the army. And he will chase down these medevacs. Expensive losses here for Future. Every single medevac goes down. Cham, he's still in this. He keeps the base alive. He's down in workers at his troop, but he's taking the gold. No shot. In the middle of all of this, in the middle of the defense, he took the gold base and he is main-arting over. Rushing into this gold, even though Cham did lose 15 workers. Suddenly, that doesn't mean as much. Not with this gold base being taken. Oh my god. Cham sharking around with these mutas. Looking for a way in. Containing his opponent. Future, he's on 4 bases though. 5th on the way. Not a bad economy. 74 workers. He's building himself up once again. The question becomes, what does Cham do with this map control? And he does have map control. He's on 5 bases now. He can maybe get a 6th. Tech up into Hive Tech is what we're waiting for. For now, Cham staying on Lair Tech instead. He's committed to his Lair Tech army. Thors have arrived, and there it is. Infestation Pit is on the way to start working towards that hive. Meanwhile, Future is just hard switching out of tanks into Widow Mines, Thors, Marines, everything that shoots up. Everything anti-muta. And this is still pretty close. It's still neck and neck. I kind of want to favor... On the one hand, Cham, he's got the goal base, and that's really kicking in. That's really helping him stabilize. On the other hand, when it comes to the army itself, the lack of hive is concerning. Lack of hive is going to be concerning. The Metamax! The mutas do catch them. Oh my god. A lot of mutas going to be going down, and again, the quality of Future's army is just that much better. 3-3 is on the way. He's going to be pushing. How many Widow Mines do we have? Not two, only 2. Oh. A bold move here from Future. Meanwhile, Cham is getting ready for this round. He has maxed out. I don't think Future can push in. Reinforcements are on the way. These Widow Mines, they need to be perfect. First shot's going to be going up. Not a bad connection, but the Link Bait comes in from behind. Oh, and we are crashing into these Marines. A good chunk of them do make it through, though. We still have a Thor. And Future, he can keep on pushing. That was a big fight, a big investment from Cham, and he just bled out far too much. Cham taking a big blow to his supply. There is a roll in, but it's not going to be enough. It looks like Future has broken through. He gets on top of the base. Hatchery falls. Bailing's rolling in. Good connections. But the Thors, oh my god, they take down every single muta. And GG is going to get called. Future takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very clutch defense out of Cham, but really good target firing. I feel like that game, that map, was a really good showcase of the control that Future has at his fingertips. Like, so often we saw him go head-to-head against Ling Bane and be able to very quickly, very crisply just focus down so many of those Bailings before they could close the distance. Really impressive. Really impressive stuff. Future was able to flex that micro, able to eventually break Cham. A lot of this also came down to how aggressive Future was and how short the rush distance is on Golden Aura. These pushes, it doesn't take too long to go from one side of the map to the other. There was just so much pressure on Cham there, and what I will say is that it was impressive that he was able to sneak out with that goal base. That did of course help, don't get me wrong, but alas, he just wasn't able to keep up with the aggression of Future. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left hand corner of site Delta, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player representing Matcherino Esports. It's the Red Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Future. Here we go. As for now, we're going to be settling into this. Once again, Future going for the low ground racks. Does make plenty of sense on side Delta. There is a ramp leading into the natural. This is one of the few maps that actually has this feature. And because of that, going for these... Oh my god! Going for a CC first. I was going to say going for these racks and these low ground walls are a lot more powerful on a map like side Delta. But we're just ramping up the greed here. CC first from Future. Bold move, especially against Cham. But as we can see, Cham, he's going for a standard opener. Hatchery, into Gas Geyser, into Spawning Pool. As a result, Cham, he's not going to be able to punish this. He shouldn't be able to punish this opener, and yeah, Future, he's just going to be able to get into the swing of things. CC first into a 2-Rax, it looks like. There we go. 2-Rax is on the way. Now, I imagine this is going to be Future's variation of 2-Rax. typically when we see this kind of setup, if we were casting Bjorn or Cure or any kind of Korean Terran, we would assume that Reapers would be on the way. I'm making the assumption that Marines are going to be on the way instead, just because of Future's tendencies, but we'll see. As the Raxes are finishing, and yep, Marines are on the way. So, even when the Bjorn opener was in its prime and everyone was doing it, even Future wouldn't really go 2-Rax Reaper. He would commit to 2-Rax Marine. There's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, this is quote-unquote stronger because it means that the Marine count early on is going to build up over time. Much faster, I should say. So the eventual sting timing is going to have more Marines and is going to be a little bit more crisp because we're not wasting any production time on add-ons. This is true. The downside is this. No scouting. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. That's the downside of what Future's build is. Because if his opponent was going for a Roach Rush, or a Bane Bust, or any kind of aggression, or like a fast Lair, or a Lin Queen Nidus all-in, or 2-base, anything like that, anything crazy, Future would have no idea. He is in the dark. So there is a bit of a give and take here, and that's also the power of the Reaper opener, is that it doesn't just threaten your opponent's bases, but it also gets scouting information, and knowledge is key here. So basically Future is taking a bit of a risk by playing like this, and we'll see if it pays off. So far, it has. So far, Cham hasn't really gone for anything out of the norm. So Future is just getting into his 2-1-1, getting into his factory, his starport, medevac production, and eventually his stim push with 16 Marines. And that's basically going to be the first time that Future sees anything across the map, is with his first move out. And thankfully for Future, again, Cham is just playing normally, we're just getting a third base, droning. Queens are moving out to spread that creep. Everything is looking good for Future. There it is. There's a reactor on the way for the factory. You should be seeing that add-on swap. When it comes to what Cham is up to, now this is also, I feel like these players are actually surprisingly similar now that I think about it. I mentioned at the start of game 1, Future's rush into his Marine opener didn't really do much in game 1 because Cham typically doesn't send out Overlords, and that's the case here as well. This is just a very Cham thing. He does focus his Overlords, his first 2 Overlords, to scout for proxies. He doesn't send them across the map to scout. So he doesn't really know what's coming his way. It could be a 1-1-1, a 2-1-1, a 4-Rax even, and Cham also has no idea. He even delays his Overseer scout as well. Instead, he's just very safe with his play. We've got an abundance of Queens, we have Lings as well. Cham has to play very reactively here to what Future is doing. What I'm saying is, neither player here likes to scout. No one is scouting, whatever. Whatsoever, even. Who needs it? Who needs to scout? Nah, man. Don't worry about it. As the Marines are going to be threatening some of this creep here. Lings, they do engage. The Queen's not quite here to support, but we got the surround. And Future, this move out gets punished hard. I was a little bit shocked. I was caught off guard that Future moved out like this, because usually we wait for the medevacs. We wait for the medevacs, then we move out so we can drop. We have the healing to support. We can of course pick up and micro out of that. And Future, a little bit greedy, a little bit too cavalier there, loses a big chunk of his Marines. That is 13 Marines. And suddenly, this medevac push is that much weaker. This is what we were building up towards. It was meant to be all about this medevac push, and alas, we still have some Marines, don't get me wrong, but this shouldn't really threaten too much here. Cham should be able to actually cancel the base. Oh my god. Okay, we force a cancel, not bad. We at least achieve that, but again, outside of canceling this hatchery, I do feel like Cham should be able to keep up, and these Marines shouldn't pose too much of a threat. I forgot to get rid of, god damn it, the turtle. Ay. But alas, behind this Future, just going to be reinforcing, moving out with his tanks, getting ready for his third base. And I should also emphasize that even though it was a 2-1-1, even though it was a very committed build, it wasn't all in. It's committed though because the third base still isn't done, and Cham is double expanding. He's taking a fourth and a fifth base at the same time. Cham on a solid economy and future. This 2-on-1 had to do more damage. Denying the 5th base was okay, but we still need more. And Cham is getting ready to collapse on these tanks. One tank gets caught out. Oh my god. Good tank volleys though. Future does hold on. Tank shots are going to be going up. Once again, good target firing on those Banelings. And this hatchery taking a lot of hits. Can we save it? Can we save the hatchery? Reinforcements are on the way. Ooh. Bailey's gonna be connecting, and here we go. Chammy pulls the trigger, gets us around, cleans up the tanks, and forces this back. Cham, he will save that hatchery. Just barely. Reinforcements are on the way, and Future is gonna try to keep this going, but now he's down to a single tank. Did keep most of his Marines, or a good chunk of his Marines alive at least. Meanwhile, Cham, he has freedom to go for a counterattack, and Future, we gotta keep pushing, we gotta keep going. Cham gonna try and buy some time. Ooh. Queens are going down though, one after the other. It looks like we will clean this up though. We get on top of the tanks and one goes down. The other does get saved. At the same time though, Cham going for a big counterattack. And what is there at home to defend? The Marines! They get surrounded! No! The Marines, they will get surrounded. This 3rd base is looking so incredibly vulnerable. Future, he was attacking with everything he had and there was nothing at home to defend. That's going to be a kill on the entire middle line. 14 dead SCVs. And Future's committed. We got to go. He's sending it right through the center. Do you get on top of some of these queens? We get on top of the overlords as well. Across the map, Cham breaking into the natural. He's getting on top of the tank. And Cham has more than enough to defend. As he breaks in. Gets on top of the tank. Gets on top of the reinforcements as well. A second tank falls. And we have a series. We're going to have it back and forth. The Baileys connect. GG gets called. And Cham ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. A lot of this did come down to the first push. Future, when you're going for a straight up 2-on-1 opener like that, you do need to gain momentum and snowball out of control and be in the driver's seat. For Future to lose all of his Marines that early on, a lot of the wind was taken out of the sails. A lot of his momentum was just kind of stripped away, and yeah, alas, Cham was able to take a lead early on here, and yeah, able to take game number 2 and tie things up 1-1. And with that, we have our next game. We have Future's map pick. It is going to be Oceanborn. Let's go. Oceanborn is coming up next. We're tied up 1-1. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. First to 3 does take the series. Ooh. And Oceanborn does give me some Golden Aura vibes. Again, you can be very assertive on a map like this. Doesn't take too long at all to get across the map, to get that rally going and to snowball out of control. We'll see. We'll see how this does unfold. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is El Chamaco. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran representing Macherino Esports. It is Future. God, I forgot again. God. The turtle just doesn't want to leave. It's because like I've been making the lobbies. Like whenever I get out of game, I'm looking like a hawk, like looking for the map pick, and I have to make the lobby quickly and add the game heart. I almost said game rotate. The game heart mod. And I keep forgetting. God damn it. It's here forever. It's here to stay. Quack. Shaking my head. But now though, Overlords are once again fanning out here, looking for any kind of proxy, any kind of shenanigans, as we expect to see here from Sham. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. The turtle, it's sparkling. It's the tuna that's meant to be sparkling, but it's all good. As Future is going for another low ground Rax variation. This is the same opener that Future went for on Golden Aura, fun fact. And again, that's not the only... There's a reason why I mentioned that I'm getting some Golden Aura vibes. I do feel like Oceanborn is very similar in a way, because of the short rushes by ground, because of just how heavily you can rally across the map, the defensive 3-base setup as well. Golden Aura is quite different though. It is a lot more defendable on 3 bases, I will admit that of course, but Oceanborn can be solid as well. This Cham is just going for his hatch gas pool, just going to be droning for the time being. And I imagine Future, oh, interesting, is going to be going for the Marines first. He's looking for Overlords. As I mentioned before, Cham isn't one to move out with his first Overlords. He's just looking for proxies, has control of the center of the map, but not much else. So the Marines don't find anything, and now we are going into a, not just a double Rax. That is a third and a fourth Rax. We have a 4 Rax. Let's go. And this is what I was worried about in game 1. Oh god! We're popping up. Okay, so on the one hand, I was gonna say this is why I'm a little bit critical of Cham, because if his opponent was doing something crazy like this, like a 4-axe, Cham would never know because he doesn't scout with his Overlords. But this time, Cham is gonna be the aggressor. We have a Baneling Nest on the way. We're cutting workers at 19, and Cham is Bane busting. And because Future is going for a 4-axe, no Hellions, no factory production whatsoever, only Marines. And because Future skipped Reapers, Future is going to be the one punished for not scouting. Future is in the dark, he has no idea what's going on. Because he doesn't know that the all-in is upon him, no bunkers. No bunkers whatsoever. Future, the pants, they're all the way. They're not here. They're off. They never came on. Future, he just doesn't wear pants. He's going to be caught completely off guard, and here come the Banelings of Cham. And I don't know how Future can survive against this. We'll see. He's gonna have like a miracle hold where he focuses down the Banelings. He can split against the. He can try to avoid and kite against those Lings as well and pull the boys. And here we go. The Banelings do bust in. The wall has been broken. Good target firing on the Baneling. Good hold position on these SCVs as well. But the Lings, they do break forward. They get us around. And Marines are going down. And as the Marines fall, we're getting on top of those SCVs as well. But the wall was rebuilt for a moment. Cham is running out of steam. And Future, he holds. And he did lose a couple of SCVs, to be fair. Do I not have WSS game heart? Wait, what? Maybe I'm blind. I didn't see the kill count. But we're doubling down. There's no transition, by the way. Cham, he's not droning. He is still doubling down on the all-in. Did kill 11 Marines. Still no bunker. Bold move here by Future. No bunker, but he does have an abundance of Marines to work with. And Future, I think he's made it. Like, because of the 4-axe, he has so many Marines available. And with Future's target firing, like, he's ready for it. He's going as close to this wall as he can so he can focus down those Banelings. This is a bold move here, but again, I have faith. I believe. I believe in the power of Future. Oh my god, this is crazy though. Now gonna be moving out. He's taking a chance. I think he assumes that Cham is droning when he isn't. And as a result, we this time have nothing out back at home. The move out hasn't spotted. Cham is looking for the surround. And Future is caught out in the middle of nowhere, forced to stem. And the Lings, they will catch the army. Banelings, they crash on forward. They clean up the Marines. Oh. And Future will lose everything, but at the same time, he's still behind a wall. And this means that there are no Banelings to crash through it. We have a sword economy. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Future survives, taking a lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Future survives the Bane bust. It was close. He had to pull the boys. He had to hold position at the ramp as well. And I'm gonna get rid of the turtle. I remember. But yeah, really good control, really good target firing on some of those Banelings as well. And Future did survive. And with that, Future is one game away from taking the series and winning this show match. He needs one more, uno más. Meanwhile, Cham, he has to fight back here and now. Oh. And Cham's map of choice is going to be Alcyone. Interesting. A very interesting map here. One of the more larger maps, a very macro-oriented map with a lot of bases to be taken, a longer rush distance by ground, really secure 3 and 4 base setup. I'm curious if Cham intends to go for a longer game, or if he maybe has something else up his sleeve. There are the goal bases available as well, and we did see Cham attempt to make mutas work. Mutas would not be a bad option here on this map either. We'll see. Show us what you got. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Mexico, representing Starlight Twinkle, going for a 12 pull. Oh my god, it is Cham. He's crazy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Maturino Esports, leading the series 2-1. It is Future. The turtle must live. I got rid of the turtle. I apologize. It's gone, Papi. It's gone. For those wondering, especially if you're tuning in now, earlier today we were casting one of our own tournaments called the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, and we have a logos mod, which is why there was the turtle in the middle of the map, because of our tournament name. Okay, Future, he's going. Okay, so CC first is fine. I'm pretty sure. Oh no. This is not fine. Future is going for a CC first opener into a Rax on the low ground. I was gonna say that against a 12 pool, like, it should be okay, but Cham, he's not going for a 12 pull into Lings. Like, Lings are being made, but we have a Roach Rush behind us, and this Roach Rush is going to be punishing this hard. And to be fair, I know I said last game, I was like, I don't know how Future defends. He doesn't know what's coming. There's no bunker. He's going to be caught with his pants down. I want to emphasize that a little bit more here, because on the plus side, last game Future had an abundance of Marines. He had 4 Marines to work with, sorry, 4 Raxes to work with, 4 Marine production. He had a massive army, and he was able to survive. Here, he doesn't. He's going for a 3rd CC? No shot. He's going for straight into a 3rd CC before factory. This is as greedy as you can get. I'm getting flashbacks to Equilibrium, to Future versus Strange in the last series. And there's no shot. There's no way. The boys are being pulled. The Lings are going ham, and we have Roaches on the way behind this. Ay, ay, ay. Future cutting so many corners. This is illegal. CC first into a 3rd base. There's 1 Marine on the way. SCVs are already going down. There's 2 Lings left, 1 Ling left. We do clean them up. But here come the Roaches. The 1-2 punch. It's not about the Lings, it's about the Roaches. And because Future didn't go for a Reaper or an SCV Scout, he doesn't know if it's just a 12 pull into a macro game or a Roach Rush. And now he knows. The Roaches have been revealed. This bunker will not finish. And we have to evacuate the natural. And there's no wall. There's nothing here on the ramp. Because of the racks on the low ground. Like, there's just nothing stopping Cham. Oh my god. And here we go. 2 Marines going to try to hold the line. We do get the cancel on the bunker. We do have a bunker on the way on the high ground. Deeper is going to go down. Supply blocking Future. I mean, actually, he has a lot of supply to work with. Never mind. Because of the CCs. Cham, he's soon to get high ground vision. That bunker is on the way, but it's not done yet. It's going to get biled down. SCVs, they try to get us around, but they do not. GG gets called. Cham punishes the greed. And we're going to the ace match. Oh my god. We are going all the way to game number 5. Yo, Future, he's so unlucky. Both in this series and the last one, whenever Future went for a fast 3rd CC build, remember, it happened against Strange on Equilibrium, he just happened to be like up against a very aggressive build. You know, we had Cham going for the all-in, we had Strange going for the 2-gate opener, and Future, he just can't get into his economy. Like, he's been trying. He's been trying to be greedy, but whatever he does, like, there's just no getting away with it. Not at all. And with that, we're getting into the ace match, the final game of this series. Game 5. Here we go. Hello, I like your casting. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, Strange. Congratulations on winning your show match earlier. I hope you had a good time. And I hope you've been enjoying streaming. I've noticed that you've been streaming on your own personal Twitch channel and been quite active. Yeah, hope you've been enjoying yourself. Hope you've been enjoying your time there. And yeah, best of luck in your future WTL matches. We cast you every week. Every week we cast World Team League on this channel, and yeah, wish you the best. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words as we are getting into the ace match. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Mexico representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran, the Red Terran representing Maturino Esports. It is Future. Here we go. And is this for the first... Oh. I was about to say, for the first time this series, are we going for a Rax on the high ground as a part of the ramp? No, Papi, we're going for a Proxy. Proxy 2 Rax on the way here from Future. I'm worried, because remember, what we've been talking about this entire series about the overlords of Cham. Cham specifically doesn't send his overlords across the map to scout and to get a read on the main base. He specifically fans them out to look for proxies, and he will find this. He will come across this eventually. Cham, he's always so safe with his overlord movement here in the early game. Now, it's going to be a late scout. He is going to be going the long way around, eventually coming across these Raxes, so not the most ideal positioning here for Cham, but he will come across this. What else is interesting here is that this is a proxy 2 Rax, not a 3 Rax, so this isn't the most committed cheese out of Future. You can transition out of this, you can work towards a CC and a factory back at home. This is not all in, but very aggressive. This would be all in if this was like 3 Raxes, for example. Or more all in, I should say. So SCVs are moving out, Marines are pushing forward. Drones are being pulled as well. Cham, he did get a read on how many Raxes there were, so he should be able to pull the boys and shut down these bunkers before they do finish. There we go. The boys are being pulled. The goal here is to chase these Marines, to zone them away, and focus down these SCVs. There are only 2 of them. And already we go for the surround. Going for the bunker, actually. Bold move. Drones are being focused down. I'm not too sure if this is worth it here. 5 workers. That's a lot of economic damage already. 5 workers for 1 bunker. That was a kill. Links have arrived. But Future takes an economic lead, and we have another bunker on the way. We have another bunker on the horizon. Future, he's gaining his foothold here. Okay, we're back here. We do cancel the bunker with the revelation with the arrival of this queen. Again, this opener from Future wasn't designed to kill the natural. 2 Raxes can't really accomplish that unless the Zerg player does kind of fumble. And Cham holds. He survives. Future is transitioning. Factory's on the way. Floating these Raxes back home. We should be working on an expansion soon as well. Ooh, as we catch an Overlord. Big pickoff. Overlord does go down. And Future, I'm sure, is very happy with the outcome of this. Looking at the units lost tab, Future, he did lose a bunker, that's true. He lost an SCV, but he killed an Overlord and 5 drones. And because of that, Future is ahead economically. He's up in workers, he has mules, of course. CC's going to be on location. Now, to caveat what I just said about Future being ahead, like, true, he's ahead in workers, but his CC is still just now starting, so there is going to be a bit of a lull period, and Cham has the opportunity here to recover and to re-drone, resaturate his bases, and to catch back up. But Cham does have to catch up. So the game is going to settle from here. What else is important is that we do know some Terran players that would go for double expanding. They'd go for a factory, into the low ground CC, into a 3rd base. Here we're going into a 2-1-1 setup, a pseudo 2-1-1. One of the Raxes is floating across the map, but we're going to be quite aggressive here. We're moving out with Marines, Hellions, and soon Banshees as well. So Future, he wants to try to keep the pressure up. He wants to try to keep the momentum on his side. So a very aggressive playstyle here for Future. He doesn't want to give Cham the breathing room he needs to stabilize. Here we go. Hellions are moving out, Marines on the right-hand side, Banshees are on the way, and because Future is being so aggressive and so assertive, he should be safe at home with this CC. Shouldn't really be under too much threat. The Marines have arrived. They dive on top of that hatchery. The Lings are here to try to deal with this. Good stutter stepping, good control out of Future, but he will be cleaned up. A bit of an overextension. At the same time, Hellions, they try to go for the dive. They do commit. Oh. We dive into the natural base. Evo Chamber does wall off the Lings. They come in for a surround, and the Hellions, they get completely shut down. Future was being hyper aggressive, was trying to keep Cham on the back foot, but he threw away his Marines. He didn't cancel the third. He threw away his Hellions. He didn't kill a drone. And Cham, he's back in this. He isn't just catching up in drones, but he's also shutting down the army of Future. So much is riding on these Banshees. Spore is done though. There's a Spore in the natural, Spore in the main. Banshee comes in, and we do get a drone. Oh, we do get one worker, but the Queens, they rotate over. There's no detection at the third base, but it's only one Banshee. There's only so much that it can do on its own. Second Banshee is in production, just now coming out. We do get a couple more workers. Transferring drones, not too bad. 3-4 workers in total. Looking for a fifth, and we will get it. 5 worker kills, and this is just one Banshee, by the way. The second Banshee has arrived, and there is a Spore Crawler, but the Queens are out of position, and we should be able to get a couple more drones. And suddenly, again, we have more of a back and forth here. Future, he did throw away a lot of his army. He's now working in his third CC, but he gets 7 worker kills. Not too bad. Back at home, getting into a setup. Again, it's going to be a 3-1-1 here on 2 bases, which is pretty standard, working towards his third. What is a little bit scary, and there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of onus on Future to try to scout. Spire is on the way. Spire here in the natural. Now, the last time we saw Spire in this matchup was on Golden Aura, and the Banshee harassment of Future did scout the Spire last time. This time, that is not the case. This time, the Spire was thrown down after the Banshees were deflected, and Future is in the dark. We saw, as on Golden Aura, if Future was aware of the Spire, he would move out. He would push, and he would try to punish Cham for cutting corners and for skipping his Banelings, for investing into mutas. But Future, he doesn't know that he has to move out. He doesn't know that there's something to punish. Spire is done. Mutas are on the way. Now, we can see here that also the downside of what Cham is going for is that upgrades are going to be delayed. 1-1 upgrades will be delayed here in favor of additional muta production. We're also getting into Baneling speed. We're not actually making too many mutas though. Cham, he makes some safety Banelings, which is a little bit interesting to me. Usually you cut corners. Usually you delay making Banelings and you hyper-fixate on mutas. But Cham, he only makes enough mutas to harass. We're not committing too hard. Not yet. Meanwhile, Future, he's going to be pushing on the left-hand side, carrying up quite a bit of creep, and pushing towards the main. At the same time, mutas, they are just bunching up with the rest of the army, and we're looking to collapse on these Marines. Yeah, we get on top of the Marines, we get on top of the Medevacs as well. Big connections. Oh my god, and not a single Marine makes it out. The Medevacs escape, but the tanks and Marines, they get shut down. At the same time, Banshees do come across the 4th base, but not much to kill. As they head towards the 3rd. But that was brutal. Like, that was so close. Future, he was just 1 second too late when it came to picking up his Marines. He wasn't able to load up. He wasn't able to evacuate. And I do think the Future has been a little bit too wasteful. At least these Banshees are buying time. They're keeping these mutas pinned back at home. instead of harassing across the map, and they're giving Future the time that he needs to build up his turrets. Turrets in the middle line, covering the production, in the natural, at the third. And from here, as the Banshees get cleaned up, we should be even working towards Thors and even Widow Mines. And there it is. Thor production has commenced. Thors are on the way. Future, like these mutas, they are typically designed to catch your opponent off guard, and they kind of did when it came to cleaning up the drop. But they don't do any economic damage, not yet. And Sham doesn't try to go for the dive. He's more concerned about shutting down the drops. Working on 1-1. Fourth base is getting saturated. Fifth base is on the way for Cham. He's droning up to 80. And he had just really conservative play with these mutas. Like the fact that he hasn't tried to get too much economic damage done, but he does cancel another base. Does cancel the fourth. Not a bad pickup. Rotating around. Again, just trying to contain Future while Cham focuses on building up his Lingbane army back at home. Infestation Pit is on the way. Cham could maybe even fight those Marines as he finds a tank. Oh my god. He will get it. Will take a lot of blows though. 2 mutas go down. Sorry, 3 mutas. 3 mutas for 1 tank. Maybe a better trade for Cham, but not an amazing one. 300 gas down the drain. This Future is going to be pushing. The mutas still skirting around. They do make their way into the main base. Turret has been found. Future not quite in position. Uh-oh. No repairs, and Cham, he's going to take control of the main base. At the same time, Future, he is continuing to push out. He is looking quite committed. Does have reinforcements back at home. Does regain control of his main base, and it looks like Future, he's not pushing. He's just trying to establish his fourth. And catch the mutas. Go. That was 4 mutas for 5 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Cham taking some big Thor shots to the face. Meanwhile, behind this, the Hive is finishing. We can then get into Adrenal Glands. There is a window here, of course, before Hive Tech can really kick in. But here comes Cham. He's collapsing on the army. The Lingbane rolls on forward. There's no splits. No Widow Mines either. Big connections with the Banelings, and Cham, he catches Future completely off guard. Future not expecting an assault whatsoever. Lings are getting into the mineral lines. The 4th base is going to be hunted down as well. The Medivacs! No! The Medivacs are caught out! And so many of them fall. And in one fell swoop, Cham takes a massive supply lead. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, Future, he was keeping up. Did have a rough time earlier when it came to, losing some of his drops and losing some of his army, but yeah, he just wasn't ready for that push. Was completely surrounded. The juggling here for the Thors, they're doing what they can, but the ground army is crumbling. The base itself on fire. And it looks like Cham is going to be able to take this. GG gets called. Cham will take the series 3-2, winning the show match. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, a very dynamic series. Very dynamic, very back and forth here. Went all the way to the ace match. We saw some cheese, we saw aggression from both players. From both players, and in the end, Cham was able to overcome his opponents. Here, in the ace match, it was a rough start for Future, to be honest. Like, when it came to his proxy 2 racks, his follow-up Hellion run-by, and his Marine push, it did feel like Future, he was just losing a little bit too much momentum early on, and with that, Cham will be the winner here. Cham just yelling out, "Hang out the phone!" If you remember, in WTL, Cham, his ceremony was like hanging up the phone or something. I don't know, some like tennis meme. I don't understand it. He's doing it again. GG, well played. My condolences to Future here. He had a really good showing in both show matches against Strange and against Cham. We had a series, we had a back and forth. It wasn't one-sided whatsoever. And that's what at least I always hope for. But this week, Future did struggle a little bit more. Future, he won both show matches in the first edition of the Kashim Friendly Showmatches. This time, a little bit less success. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, these players are quite competitive in their own right. Cham and Strange, popping off. Well played. Well played tonight. GG. Tennis me? Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. Hang it up, Bobby. Hang it up. I love when I can hear light strike the fanfare, but yeah. I don't think my mic is meant to pick it up, but it does happen. It does happen. With that, GG, well played, and a big shout out to Kashim in the chat. Kashim. Gracias, papi, gracias. He, of course, is a big part of the StarCraft community, not just the Polish scene. I mean, he's a big part of the Polish scene, but even more so, he's a part of, yeah, the greater community overall. Does so much for Liquipedia, does so much for tournaments in general. So thank you so much, Kashim, for organizing this event. Exclamation mark Maturino in the chat. Exclamation mark Maturino if you want to support these players, Future, Cham, and Strange. They all walk away with some money, and you can even boost that prize pool via Maturino yourself. It's available there for you if you're interested, so you can do so. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone that tuned in today, because I do know that our viewership is a little bit lower than normal today because of Home Story Cup, right? We are live here at the same time as Home Story Cup, so we appreciate it if you did tune in, if you like multi-twitched it up and opened up a couple of tabs and a couple of different windows, just absorbing all the StarCraft you can. And yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you dropping by, and hope you enjoy the rest of Home Story Cup. It's been going on all weekend, and I believe tonight is the playoff brackets. Let me just double check, and yeah, tonight is the playoff bracket. Cyril is playing, he's competing, Showtime, Raynor, Clem, Hearthstone, Hero Marine, Skillus. The best of the best in Europe are facing off at the moment in Home Story Cup, so be sure to tune in. Be sure to check it out, as there have been some upsets, and there have been some surprising results as well. So I do recommend. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for checking us out. Exclamation mark. I'm sorry, what? I actually keep forgetting that's happening. I mean, I wasn't able to tune into the group stage just because we're going to be casting the replays here on this channel. But I will tune into the playoffs. I'll tune into the playoffs, and I'll be there enjoying it alongside everyone else. Otherwise, if you want to support us, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. We have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server, the social, all the commands in the chat to get links to all things CranKy Ducklings. Otherwise, thank you so much for all the support, for tuning in. Stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send our love to. Where are we? We'll find someone to raid. Otherwise, I guess we can raid Home Story Cup. I mean, they have a lot of viewers already. Like, I always try to raid smaller streamers, just so you can have a chance at actually checking them out, maybe for the first time. So yeah, we'll find someone. We'll raid SE2 Fool. He's a great guy. Great guy. With that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the support. Make sure you tune into Home Story Cup, and we'll see you guys next time. Hasta luego. Our next broadcast is tomorrow in less than 24 hours with ESL Open Cup Asia. See you then.